This is the swarm that actually moved into our swarm box that we sat on the roof of our shelter, and we're moving them just across the yard. So we're trying just moving the swarm box, putting some branches around it, hoping that they're going to reorient themselves so that we can put them into this hive that is sitting right underneath them. So fingers crossed, we're gonna hope that this works. We're gonna leave them in the box for a couple of days, make sure they reorient to this location before we put them in the hive. So here we go. Yeah, we know that to move a colony of bees, you should close them up at night, move them to a new location a couple of miles away, and leave them for a couple of weeks to reorient to that location before you bring them back close to where you want to move them to. But it was raining last night, it's windy this morning. We're gonna try this and see if it works, and hopefully they'll reacclimate to this location. So Roy's gonna let them out. We've just moved them from one end of the yard to the other, and we're gonna hope that they decide to stay. We'll know in a couple of days if this worked or not. Alrighty, so hopefully the branches around the opening will cue them in that they're in a new location. They'll reorient today and tomorrow, and in a couple of days we'll move them down into their new hive, which is going to be one of our new insulated Layens hives right underneath them. This is about an hour and a half after we opened up the swarm hive this morning over at this new location, the other side of our yard. So it looks like quite a few of the bees are coming back to the box over here. So we'll see how this all works out. This is the location where the swarm box was until we moved it last night. There are quite a few of the bees that are coming back over here to their original location, so we knew this was a risk. Just gonna have to wait and see if most of them find their way back to the new location. You don't know.
Right there, I can just sit it right over here. So these girls are our kind of unintentional swarm. This is the box that we had baited after we took the bees out of it. We just went ahead and rebaited it and left it in the shop, and then noticed there were bees flying around it. So I just sat looking for a level place outside to set it, and I set it on top of the shelter out there. And the next day, the swarm was in it. We moved it around here yesterday. Was it yesterday, Shirley? Shirley's walked away for a second. We moved it around here to the front to see if they would stay without moving this box somewhere else a few days and bringing it back. Everything we hear, you're supposed to take a swarm and move it 5 to 10 miles away, as long as it's over 5 miles. Move it away, let it stay about a week or so, let the bees get used to a different place, and then bring it back. Well, I had a friend that moved hives from one side of the yard to the other without any losses. And since this was kind of a bonus anyhow, I said, what the heck, I'm gonna try it. And we noticed this morning, the location where this was yesterday morning, there was only about 5 or 10 bees still sitting around out there. So I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be okay leaving them here. I'm gonna be looking for the queen. There's lots of brood right there, young brood. Sometimes you look and the queen just jumps right out at you and grabs your eye. And sometimes you can go into a hive 3 or 4 times and still never see the queen. I can see the brand new larva on here, so that would be an ideal place for it to be. I didn't see her. We'll mark these for 2 before I twist them around backwards. So normally I would have left this I would have let this swarm box sit on top of the main hive box here for a few more days, but we needed to suit up and do some other bee work today. So I said, okay, well, I've already got my stuff on, I'm gonna walk over here and do this. Good brood in here. They're putting nectar around the top. So we know there's a queen.
That's laying.
It's laying. When I moved this around, this was I could tell it wanted a large swarm. It might have been 5 or 6 pounds more, and that's interesting.
Our wax foundation fell down.
The wax foundation, it fell down, but they started up here at the top. And I want you to look how much honey they've already capped honey there, but on this side you see how much honey they've capped here in less than a week. Let's go ahead and pull this out. This is a resource frame for them. It's got nectar in here, pollen in here, some pollen here, and a lot of nectar all around.
go find a follower board.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
Huh?
I am gonna need that. Hey Shirley, I need the little white stool. Me. Let's go ahead and set that lid on there after Shirley gets back with our pieces and parts. That way to concentrate the smell coming out that opening over there. Alright, there's 3 frames. Oh, okay. We're giving them girls 3 more frames. Since they're in a build out mood, we'll let them build out some more frames. Got a divider board, which they can go under. So if there's any bees over here on this side or up in the top, they can get down in there. I smoked them bees out of that box. There's just a few that don't want to come out. Alright, let's put it in.
Pick it up that way. Heavy.
Leave it so they can walk it. I think I'm rolling into there. Any smoke there? There you go.